Hi, it's Loretta. Welcome. This morning, what I'd like us to do is to start off with a breath called Brahmari. And Brahmari is often called the humming breath. And how it happens is that you take a deep breath in, and at any tone that you feel, just Now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take 8 of those. You can go as fast or as slow as your breath leads you, and your only responsibility is to count how many breaths and hums you're doing. And at the end of 8, just quietly breathe again and keep your breath breathing in and out until we all finish. And then we'll chant the sound of Om together. So let's begin. I like to keep my eyes closed for these. Last one for me. And now let's begin with one more deep inhale and exhale to the sound of Om as we begin our practice together. And let's begin with our arms up and down, and up and down, and up and down, up and down. One more. And then let's come to the center and say out and in, out and in. Take a few more. Really let yourself open up. Okay, now what I'd like to do is I'd like us to stretch our hands up as high as we can and really, really, really reach. Reach like you're pulling, and go ahead and pull a few times on each side, like a ladder. And go ahead and feel that stretch all the way through. And come on back to center and lower your arms. And let's move on up to our shoulders. Let's say, put our hands down, pointing towards the ground, and we'll say up and down. Go ahead and squinch your neck when you do it. Up and down. And if you can, keep your breathing up and down. Try to coordinate your breath every time you do things. That's the one really big thing I would say in here, is like, try to make your breath work for you and count. One more. Now let's take our hands and say out and in, and out and in. And as you take your wrists out, go ahead and take your chest out and in. Take a couple more. Out and in. One more. Out and in. And then let's take some shoulder rolls. I love how these feel. We're always going to do these. A couple more here. Start to work out those kinks and come to the back and go forward. Take a forward shoulder roll. Forward shoulder roll. That was hard to come out, but let's take a couple more. Oh, one more. And then come back to center And what I'd like you to do is take one arm. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this arm over and I'm stretching the shoulder. So you could just as easily bring your hand over to the side of your arm if you need to, or you can bring it down here and stretch. Any way you do it, make sure that you're pulling that socket gently. Take 2 deep breaths. One more. And then come on back to center and let's do the other side. So we're lifting this arm up. Most people I see do it like this. That's a little bit hard for me because I'm short-armed, but I like to put my hand right here just to keep it. And then take 2 breaths and feel that gentle pull on that shoulder socket. One more breath here. And then come on back to center. And let's just take our hands and bring them up into our tricep stretch. So if you can, put your palms on your elbows, opposite linked. With your head in between, your ears in between your arms, sitting up very straight on that edge of your chair with your hips and your feet hips width apart. Your legs and your feet hips width apart. Take 2 more deep breaths. And go ahead and bring your arms down. And now let's go ahead and move to the neck. Let's take a few of our infinity circles where we're actually doing a figure 8 on its side or a racetrack, however your mind thinks. Bring it in and just give yourself some gentle moves to each side, circularly and around. And then come on back to the center. Shake your head no. Shake it gently. It's hard sometimes to shake it gently because I love no. No, 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 no. I do. But I just as much come to the center and love yes. So let's take a few of those nods now and make sure our neck is stretching and moving and feeling loose. And then come on back up to the center and let's take a gentle stretch to one side with our neck. So take a deep breath in and turn your head over one of your shoulders and just gently look over it. So. Take a deep breath here while you're there. And come on back to the center and do the same on the other side. Gently turn it. And then take an inhale and exhale in that position. And then come on back to center. And let's move along to our spinal movements. Let's begin by taking some circular motion, beginning to move our spine, move our waist, move our arms. Keep in mind, every time you move your arms, you're bringing your heart into it, so it's a good thing. One more on each side, and then drop your hand on your kneecap. Lift it up a little because we're going to do some circular twists, but I don't want you to pull your leg. So put your hand on your kneecap, but look how I'm doing, just like a little claw kind of, and just putting it like that. Taking a deep breath, and we're moving from our torso. We are not moving, we're not pulling ourselves around, and we're not looking ourselves around with our head. What we're doing is we're going to look straight ahead, find a focus point, find your drushki, which is what it's called, and find that point, put your hand on your knee, take a deep breath in, and keep your eyes looking at your focus point. Your head can do anything it needs to do. Just be loose and soft with this. So deep breath in, twist from the torso. Another deep breath. One more twist. Here we go. Deep breath in. And come all the way back around, and let's do the other side. Do it just the way we did that one, with your hands up, resting on their fingertips. Find your dushki point, your focal point. Take a deep breath in and turn. Take one more deep breath and turn. And on the next inhale, come back to center. And since we're right here, let's go ahead and take our deep bend side to side. So take one hand, drop it in back, raise your other hand straight up, put it next to your ear, keeping your head very balanced on your shoulders. Keep that neck and shoulders and head all kind of in alignment. And then as you bring your hand up, it's in alignment as well. And feel your energy. I know I say this, but I really mean it. This is you. Feel who you are. And take a deep breath and then take a bend. An intense side stretch, opening up that side panel of energy. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Feel yourself opening up. And then as you're ready, come on back up and let's do the other side. Hand goes to the back, arm comes straight up next to your head. Wiggle your fingers. Really acknowledge you and acknowledge that this is your body, and we're opening up the side panel so it can join us in the rest of the afternoon. Take a deep breath in and bend to the side. Keep your heart open. Take another deep breath. One more. And then come on back up when you're ready. And let's just take a few side to side, gently, essentially equalizing your rear end. Those two sits bones, make sure you're balanced on both of them. And let's move into a cat-cow. And let's begin in our cat. And so to do that, we have our hands on our knees. We're sitting on the edge of our chair. And let's make them really juicy. So what that means is when you drop into the cat, tilt your head, bring your shoulders all the way up, come back as close as you can to the back of the chair while still holding your knees. And then the cow comes back up, push your rear end back out with it, bring your chin up. And this is the cat-cow. And it's a nice undulation of the spine, front and back. Take a few more. This is one of the very best poses you can do. Oh, heck, they all are, but this is one of the really good ones for that spine. And let's take one more. Here we go. And then come on back to center. And while we're here, let's go ahead and take a goddess circle. So hands on knees, hips width apart. We're going to take it to the back, to the side, to the front, to the side, and to the back. And it'll be with the torso, with the chest and ribs leading the way. Take two more really good circles with this. There's one. Take the next one. And then as you come to the back, slow down and stop and go the other way. To the side, to the front, to the side, to the back. And this just kind of loosens up everything. Now you can do it as fast or as slow as you want. I like to do everything slow because it works with my breath. And then come on back to the center. And let's move along to our legs. Let's begin by taking a goddess pose. So your feet, your heels come out. You're sitting on the very edge of your chair so that your legs are widely spread with your heels out and your toes pointed in. Okay, this is a posture pose. So sit up as straight as you can with your back and your head all in alignment, sitting on that rear end, your legs outstretched. Bring your hands up. Take a deep breath. Take a couple more deep breaths here. Make sure your legs stay out and your posture is straight. The goddess pose. The goddess is the benevolent person who gives you your harvest. This is the goddess that people pray to for fertility and crops and benevolence. So take that pose of power of you can provide and feel how strong it feels. One more deep breath in. And then gently bring your hands back and come on back in. Keeping your legs spread. As you know, I like to do this pose right after the goddess. Pointing your toes forward. You might bring them in just a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold, but we're going to tuck with our chin and we're going to roll down. So as we begin, deep breath in, tuck your chin and roll one vertebrae at a time until you reach your knees, drop your arms and bring them in the inside. Now go ahead and use your elbows and push out those knees a little bit, push them like right under the joint. And you can do it from this space. You can do it from this space. Just keep your head tucked. You can do it from a space of wherever you're at. You can do it up on your fists. Whatever works for you. Depends on how long your arms are and your legs. Take another deep breath and bring your hands out to your feet and roll slowly back up with your chin coming the very last thing to bring your head right up. That felt nice. Okay, since we have our legs open anyway, and we're sitting on the edge of our chair, let's go ahead and take our hands on our knees and do some windshield wipers, where we bring them together and we spread them out, going up on the side of our ankles, on the side of our feet. This will exercise the feet and give you the width and movement we need to start opening those hip sockets. Take a couple more. They're just basic leg warmers. Let's take one more and come back to center and bring our feet together. Okay, now one thing I've become clear about recently is that there are many of us who haven't done pelvic tilts in a really long time. And so I'm going to begin with the slow version, and I'd like us to take a few. And the slow version is where you just tilt your hips forward and back. And you basically move your pelvis floor. And it's a subtle movement, but you can feel the muscles. You're squeezing and then letting go, and squeezing and letting go. Now, if you really get the hang of this, go ahead and lift yourself off the chair and just come gently, take a few of them. And then if you really like this, lift yourself all the way up and come back and drop your head and take a bridge and take a couple of breaths. If this is not easy for you, go ahead and stay on the chair and make sure you take the pelvic tilts. Take one more deep breath here. And come on back down and sit back in your chair. And then let's stand up, because some of the things I'd really like us to do today require standing up. I'm going to turn my chair just because I like it so you can see what I'm doing easier. First, we're going to take those old knee bends. And we're just gently moving them. And that's it on that. And then we're going to step back with the leg closest to the chair. We're going to still forward focus. Push our hips back so that they're looking towards the back wall. We're going to drop. You can put your hand on the chair for balance. Take your other hand as if it has a 2-pound weight in it and bring it to the center and let it just hang. Tucking your chin, but feel your legs stretch and open and your shoulders and arms have that tension that creates the pull That just gives a really nice feeling. One more breath. And then come on back up. And now let's do the other side. Because I'm on this side of the chair, I'm going to just step back with my foot furthest from the chair. I'm going to go ahead, push my hips back facing the wall. I'm going to drop my hand. Then the other foot, the other arm, I'm going to let come down in between my other legs like I have a weight on it. I'm going to tuck my chin, and I'm going to feel how that opens up my legs all the way through, all the way through, all the way through. Opens up that back calf, the Achilles tendon, and that weight pulls the shoulder socket down, and that feels good to me too. One more breath. And come on back up. Okay. Now, what I want us to do next is I want us to take a lunge. And so let's come up by our chair to the front of it, probably. Okay, lunges. Step back with one foot, go to the toe. The other leg is by the chair, and it bends. I'm bending my knee. My hands can use the chair for balance. I'm dropping as low as I can. My toe is outstretched. I'm up on it, and I'm stretching that back leg. Runner stretch. Now, if you want to turn that into a different type of stretch, then all you do is you pull your chest up. I like the runner stretch better. Let's just make sure that leg is open and wide. Just give it a couple of bounces, and then gently bring it forward again. And we're going to shift, come all the way back up. Always complete one movement before you do the other. Take your hands, we're going to switch legs. Put this leg back, I'm up on my toe, back as far as I can, stretching this knee by bringing it and bending it, bringing my body here, and really, really stretching that back leg, really stretching it. Coming down as low as you can, probably seat level. If you can't do it this far, that's okay too. This comes with time. Slowly bring yourself back up. Come back up. Now, what I want to show you, I want to continue with the way that I did the Warrior series last week. And that is, I'm in back of the chair to begin with the Warrior One, standing next to the chair. My feet are even with my mat or the chair leg. I'm going to step back with the leg closest to the chair. Have it be straight, and the foot bends out just a little to get your balance. Keep your front leg bent, and go ahead and open it up a little so that you have the space to come down and come up. And look up. Now you're, okay. Let me get my feet better. Warrior One is tricky because you come scoop up and you come up. And so you're pulling and pushing. You're pulling your arms up and you're pushing with your back leg. And look up at your hands and take some breaths. One more deep breath here. Now take your hands, come on down. That was Warrior One. We're going to do the humble warrior now. You bring your hands back. Now you can use your chair and come over your knee. Come over it with your torso. And your other hand goes up. And you can put both hands up if you have the balance. This is the humble warrior. Look. And then come on back up. Take the star position. My balance is not as great as it usually is today, but take the star position, keeping your back foot pointed towards the other wall, towards the chair. Your hips are pointed towards the chair. This is critically important. Take your other foot, Bend it out. Have your knee over your ankle with your hips pointing in this direction. Get your feet right, then raise your arms. Then when you feel stable, look out over it, out over your front leg, and breathe. Keeping your hips towards the chair back. Two more breaths here. Strength and stabilization. Next breath, drop your back arm, raise your front arm, bring it up and over. Reverse warrior. Your hips are still pointed forward. Your heart is open. One more breath. And come on back down. Star position. Now I'm going to take it from the other side. So all I'm going to do is turn my chair around. So here we are. Warrior one. We're going to take leg closest to the chair, bring it back. Toes are pointed out just a little. Front foot is pointed directly forward. Your hips are forward. You bend your knee. Then when you have your balance, come on up and swing back. And bring your heart up, your chest up, your hands directly overhead, and look up. And breathe. Take one more good breath here. Then slowly bring your arms down. That was warrior one. This is the humble warrior. Come out over your leg, drop your head, and come back. Take some breaths. One more breath here. And then come on back up. Take the star position. Then the warrior two, keeping your foot pointed towards the opposite wall with your hips pointed towards the chair. Turn your other leg out. Bring it forward a little bit. Get your balance. Your knee should be over your ankle. You should be able to see your toes. Your hips are pointed towards the chair. Then raise your arms and look out over them. And take some breaths. Stability, strength, perseverance. All right, now drop your back arm, raise your front arm, bring it up and over. Take a deep breath still and breathe. One more deep breath. And come on back to the star position. And now I'm going to turn my chair around to the other direction. I'm going to go ahead and take the warrior threes, both from the front of the chair, and I'll take both sides. So warrior three, you're standing in front. You stabilize. Start leaning on one leg and bring your other leg up. And as you start to raise your leg, bend with your upper body as much as you can, and then bring your hands down to the chair, raise your leg as high as you can and point it, and look forward. This is the flying home position. Only you would be bringing your arms out, but this will give us the stabilization we need. And then gently, when you've had enough of that, come on back down. And let's do the other leg. Come on back up first. Remember, finish one before you do the other. Come on to one leg, the other leg that you just worked. Raise the leg that you're using. Start to bend down as far as you can while bringing your body even. And then when you can get down here, go ahead and raise your arms so that your elbows are straight. Point your toe and look ahead. 2 more breaths here. Teaching yourself to stand on one leg is important. Come on back down. Come on back up. Again, what we're doing is we're training our body to do things we don't normally do. Okay, I'm going to do one downward facing dog because we're going to run short on time here, and I want to have time to talk at the end. So, downward facing dog. Hands are spread, thumbs as well. Come up to your chair, put your hands on them, get sturdy. Spread them as much as you can. Walk backwards so that your feet touch the ground completely. You start to go up on your toes. Bring your feet back in just a little. Line your head up with your arms. Drop your shoulders and straighten your legs. This raises your butt. Take some breaths here. If you have your feet hips width apart, it helps. You don't want them too close on this. One more deep breath. And come on up and come into our plank. Pull yourself forward, bring yourself out over your wrists, point your head forward, your body is straight, and breathe. And come on back up. Can you release yourself from that position and spread your legs out. Take a wide-legged downward facing dog. Keep your hands haven't moved. Take your head, put it between your arms, drop your shoulders, straighten your legs. That's how you get that raise in your bum. Take some deep breaths here. And then bring your hands down. Come down and back as far as you can. You can bend your knees. See how far you can reach backwards, just for the heck of it. And kind of just wobble on your legs a little. Not wobble, but bounce up and down just a little. Nothing big, just bounce your butt. And come on back up. And one last time, I'm going to show you how to get up if you fall down or are on the floor. Here you are. You're on the floor. Okay, this is how you get up. Come up to your knees. Put your hands in front of you. Come up on your fists. Tuck your toes in the back. Walk your hands up to your knees and push with your arms and use your feet and pull yourself back up. And come up. Please practice that because it'll make a world of difference for you if you ever end up on the floor. And so while I say that, let's just take a couple more hula movements. Straighten up and make sure our hips are loose. Go the other way. And come on back to our chairs. Now it's time for us to go into Shavasana in just a minute. But before we do, I wanted to tell you that this particular session is the last session we're going to have. We're taking a hiatus for the summer. So what I wanted to say was I have about 40 classes out there on the web in the YouTube Pikes Peak Library District site. And you can access those any time of the day or night. So please don't stop doing chair yoga just because I'm not here. Find some of those, find any of them you like, or find somebody else you like, and really keep up your practice. I do my practice every day, and it keeps me limber and it keeps me in my body. I would hope and pray for you that that is the result you get from doing yoga. And so if it is, try to bring it into your life a little bit more. Find one thing you love to do and do it more often. I could go on about yoga, but let's end this with a really nice Shavasana. How I'd like us to do that is I want you to get really, really comfortable. I mean, find a comfort level any way you can. If it's on your chair, great. If you want to lay on the floor, go ahead and do that. However you can find that stillness. And then what I would like you, I'm going to find mine sitting on the edge of the chair because it's easier for me to touch the floor. And then let's take 5 more Brahmaris. And Brahmari humming is essentially for when you want to bring yourself, the humming centers you, it gives you a vibration, and it brings your energy into focus. So if you feel in any way nervous or crazy or scared or whatever, you can do a Brahmari and do that breath and that humming, or even a bee buzz, and it'll bring you right back to yourself. So I would really encourage you to take some chances with the things we're learning in here and try them out for yourself in different situations and see how they fit for you. So let's take 5 Brahmari and then let it go and let yourself really go into your own being. Like center yourself, take a deep breath and move your breath down through your body. Your Brahmari will help that. It'll help you to focus into your body. And then as you become still, let it go and breathe like yourself. And just welcome your own energy into your own body and sit with it in the joy of knowing your own energy. And I'll let you know when it's time for us to come back up. 5 Brahmari to begin with. Let's go. And now from wherever you've gone to, go ahead and bring yourself back. And bring your whole self back. Come into your body, populate it, inhabit it, love it. Bring yourself all the way back up. And then make a few movements that are completely you, that you want to help you center in that body that you have, that owns your soul and your spirit and your breath and your movement. I like to lift up my leg. Maybe you do too. I also like to just take a couple of circular motions because I like circular motions. I like to stretch. Say hello, body. I'm going to miss you guys, but we'll see each other again in September, and hopefully you'll take me up on my offer and do yoga with me every day by doing one of my tapes. Oh, come on back down. And really, let's bring our hands together. And let's take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, chant the sound of Om. The light in me sees and honors and adores the light in you. Namaste. Thanks for coming.